Amphibia is a show many people, including me, slept on when it was originally released. However, it has recently gotten more popular and has sparked itself into a beautiful fanbase and community. This is honestly very deserved, as the show is pretty good. It has some great complex characters and a cool overarching storyline. And speaking of an overarching storyline, I should give out a spoiler warning. This video will cover events up to Season 3, Episode 9, which are all the episodes available on Disney Plus as of writing the script for this video. We will also be specifically diving deep into the Season 1 and Season 2 finales as well, so if you haven't watched them already, I would highly recommend doing so, because having those episodes and the lead up to them spoiled will lessen those episodes' impact for sure. With that warning out of the way, let's get into this. It's obvious that Amphibia shines brightest in its finales. The Season 2 finale named True Colors is easily the best episode in the entire series, perfectly wrapping up all of the hype and mystery gathered in the two previous seasons, and then curving it in a completely different direction. There have been some complaints about how much was fit into True Colors, however most people I see think the content was handled quite well. The twist villain was an absolutely great antagonist, even if it was hinted at a bit, and the death at the end was truly the only twist we needed. I didn't even know that they could show that level of impalement on a Disney Channel. It is a really good finale, so good in fact that it overshadows the Season 1 finale, which is also great. The Season 1 finale isn't as good as the finale to Season 2, but it is also outstanding, particularly the last fight between Anne and Sasha, which has emotional and physical stakes, and ends up with Sasha accepting death in the knowledge that she is only hurting everyone around her. That is really heavy for a Disney show. Moments like these are sprinkled throughout the show, and that's really what makes Amphibia different. It's the story, it's the characters, and of course it's when Marcy gets flippin' directly stabbed with a giant fire sword. Many people look fondly at the series, however, a lot of them are forgetting Season 1. The Season 1 finale was great, however the rest of the season was not so much. I'm not saying it was bad by any means, but it truly wasn't the same show as it is now. Season 1's episodes are repetitive and follow a fairly simple formula, and almost none of them push the story forward in any meaningful way. The lore and the story are what Amphibia does best, but Season 1 had almost none of that. It was a very slow burn introducing the viewers to the residents of Warpwood. A lot of them are good characters, and part of me is glad to see a lot of them got an episode dedicated to them. However, another part of me just really sees these episodes as pointless and filler. There are some bits of storyline content hidden in it, but most of those are tiny pieces that are reiterated later because they're so easy to miss, making the original inclusion of them unnecessary for the viewing experience. I could even go as far to say that you don't need to watch the majority of the episodes in Season 1. I partially blame this on the fact that the show runs 10-minute episodes, so with 20 episodes it has nearly 40 shows in it. It is obvious though that the show's creator listened to the feedback, as Season 2 and what we've seen of Season 3 is filled with something contributing to the overall storyline in almost every episode. I do want to restate how good Season 2 and Season 3 so far are. Again, the storyline is what Amphibia does best, so including a bit in every episode makes them feel solid and keeps them feeling like they have a point. They've rounded out the sharp edges in the show, and now it's a great product, but Season 1 was pretty rough in my opinion. That is, until the introduction of Sasha. Amphibia's story is obviously planned out, as they don't even introduce the third member of the human dynamic trio until Season 2. Marcy is a pretty main character, which really shows the amount of planning that went into everything, and it also shows how heavily they rely on getting renewed for that next season. I bring this up because I don't want to pretend like the rest of the story wasn't planned out, or that Sasha's addition changed how the writers were going to write the show. What I do want to point out is how Sasha's real introduction as a character was really the turning point of what made it into the show it is today. Even though we had gotten a glimpse of Sasha in the opening credits and a cameo scene in the end of one of the episodes, we never really got to see much of her until episode 10 of Season 1. This episode was one of my favorite ones in the entirety of Season 1, probably only second to the finale of the season. There were two shows in it, one called Toad Tax, which sets up the toads as a superior class over the frogs by having them be the warriors and the tax collectors in the land, and the episode called Prison Break, which is completely dedicated dedicated to introducing Sasha Waybright. It is immediately obvious that Sasha is one of the most complex characters early in the show. You realize that Sasha plays the role of a very manipulative and controlling character, not seeing anyone as anything more than a means to an end. She seems to effortlessly make friends with her prison guards and encourage them. However, it is a moment later revealed that she is just doing this to get under the skin of Captain Grime, who's the captain of Toad Tower. Sasha's character doesn't stop there, as she also has a huge temper and a huge power crave. However, she is also revealed to have some heart in the finale of the season, which later contributes to her redemption arc of sorts. Point being, Sasha Waybright is one of the more complex characters in the show, with a lot of depth and many emotions, with possibly more to come. Her original edition in Amphibia really marked the switch to a more storyline-based show versus a bunch of one-off adventures. Previous to the season 1 finale, which is where I feel the show switched to more story-driven content, the main cast lacked depth or character development. Even though each episode had a moral at the end with the main character learning a lesson, the lesson rarely carried over to the next episode. Each one of the main cast felt like they met a set character archetype and stopped there. Ann and Sprig worked like standard rambunctious protagonists, Polly was a baby with dark jokes, Hop Hop's main trait was being, well, a boomer. However, since Sasha's real introduction in the season 1 finale, the characters have grown so much more than that. When the show switched to more storyline content, the characters were able to build on their previous experiences more and learn from their mistakes. We see the best example of this character growth later in the show in season 3. Season 3 opens with the planters being stuck in the human realm, and Anne has to teach them how to behave there, emphasizing her growth and maturity. This is growth that would not have been possible in season 1 with one-off shows twice an episode, and it definitely wouldn't feel deserved. Hop Hop is the one character that has some growth over season 1, as he slowly allows Sprig and Anne onto a longer leash, and gets braver over the course of the season, so there is some growth there. And I would like to mention the slight changes in Polly's character over the first season. You can say that's canonically character growth, however it really just seems like they were trying to see where the character would fit, and they were just making some adjustments along the line, so it's not really character growth. The point is, before Sasha's finale occurred, all of the episodes felt like they were meant to stand alone, and after her introduction, episodes had so much more lore, and this story is where Amphibia is the best. As I mentioned earlier, the creators obviously had the show planned out, so I don't think the success of Sasha and the storyline could completely have changed the show's direction. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the creators noticed the success of the finale or praised the lore and decided to sprinkle in a little bit more, because since Sasha's finale in season 1, episodes have been contributing to intriguing lore, stunning moments, and so many heartfelt emotions. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button and liking and sharing this video with a friend. This is one of my real first ever video essays, so if you want to see more content like this, make sure to show some love on this video so I can see that you guys like it. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Sold out.